Mr. Robert Goethe. So, it looks like you have somebody with you.
Yes.
So who's this?
This is one of my youngest sons, deeply involved in all Hepcat. But he needs to follow daddy today.
He's a CTO, I guess.
Yeah.
So what is his name?
Vilgot.
Okay. We won't ask him. We won't ask all the questions to him. So, Robert.
Yes.
What is Hepcat?
Hepcat, from the beginning, it started as a swing club, actually.
Okay.
And then it became a lot
Swing
of...
dance club, of
Swing
course.
dance club, yeah, sorry. Sorry.
It could have gotten weird fast.
Yeah. No, swing dance clubs, and that's what we did for like 20 years ago.
Okay.
We popped up an idea that swing dancing was the most, the toughest thing we could do for 20 years ago with music, dancing, and stuff like that.
So before Hepcat, I want to talk a little bit about your father, where you come from, sort of.
Yep.
So he was involved a lot with the fashion business and denim back in the 70s and 80s. Can you tell us just a little bit about that?
Yeah, I was grown up in the back office of a denim store, actually. And he had like 5 denim stores and at the time. So yeah, that's actually the background, and I said never ever to work with that again.
So this, did it have some kind of influence besides the fact that you didn't want to work on it?
Yeah, of course it had an influence because it was interesting, of course, because you met a lot of people, a lot of traveling, new ideas, and thinking of how to catch up stuff.
So, but at that time, did you think, okay, this is what I want to do one day?
No, never. No? Never. Ever.
So what did you want to do back then? Or maybe you didn't know at 13 years old.
No, I wanted to. I was kind of interested into music.
Yeah.
I couldn't play myself. I was a record collector and actually travel a lot, like a merchandiser for bands. Did some European tours and stuff like that for some well-known bands. And
okay, so now you said to me earlier that you didn't want to just create another clothing shop. You wanted to create something different. You said kind of like a 30s, 40s juke joint where it was hot, smoky, and dangerous.
Yeah.
So what were your thoughts back then when you were sort of creating this idea?
At that time, the idea wasn't in the beginning starting the stores. In the beginning, it was like we wanted to build something around the swing clubs, and it started to become quite.
Dance clubs.
Yeah, the dance clubs. Sorry, a huge community around it. It started dance classes. We had clubs in Copenhagen, Gothenburg, Malmö, Lund, and all the stuff around started. We started to. We needed the clothes, the suits, the hats, the music. We started to import the music, and in that also the clothing started.
Yeah.
And after a while. The office was actually in my living room for a while, and everyone running out and in, dance teachers, musicians, everyone was, it was like an open house. And
so for you, it sort of like began as a community, then it grew into a store rather than the opposite, which is usually the case, I guess.
Yes, because in this community of musicians, artists, and stuff like that, suddenly there were boxes of denim standing there, and I was like, oh, I remember this. So then we started and said, can you sell this for us? And, bands traveling from the States, they had stuff started to build, not only with music, it became more into clothing, stuff around, accessories, and
Okay.
So it was a melting pot there.
So the store is based in Lund. You said to me earlier that how you sort of began building this community. You mentioned something about this book that you had full of names. Can you tell us about that?
I had a book full of names. It's actually a few books. At that time, this was also the time when the mobile came and the internet came public for ordinary people. But in the same time, also still had notebooks with What we did was like we figured out we needed television, we needed the paper, we needed to control for the events, to control the press. So we listed everything, every phone number. We're sitting there day out and day in and called, asking questions, how can we get in there and stuff like that. And I still have these notebooks. And it's sometimes when I check them, it's amazing. Oh yeah, I was talking to this guy, and people are, do you know them? Nah, I don't know them, but we had a nice speech for a few hours there because we needed something. We wanted something.
Yeah.
But in the same time, we were thinking also that we thought that anyway, that we could give something back because the community was kind of friendly because everyone could be invited into it.
Yeah.
Because the music was good, even if you didn't like it, it was possible to stand it and everything around.
Yeah. So you said just quickly, you said to me earlier that you would probably be much richer than you are today if you didn't blow all your money on having too much fun. So do you think that sort of helped build your community because you spent so much of your money with them?
Yeah, but at that time, the clubs was important. It was important with the bands and stuff like that. And we had the idea, we had no control on nothing, and we were dancing on the nights extra to get some money to spend on bands and stuff like that. So yeah, we spent loads of money, millions of money.
But now you have an incredible community of people, and so I want to talk a little bit about that. So you guys are constantly doing things. I remember the first time I came there, you actually said that some guy was going to come on Saturday and do haircuts, and I needed one, so you invited me to that.
Yeah.
So what else do you guys do for your community?
Today we like split it up. We still have the community with all the dancing, with the clubs. We're not only doing swing clubs today. We're involved in all kinds of music. So we got the music clubs in one way, and then we got the store separated, the store and the record company, because we started a record company in 2002. So in there, it's still the dancing. We're doing the pinstriping classes. We invite artists just for people to come, cost nothing. You just come there, hang out, and constantly it's brands coming in to show what they're doing. Artists, painters, musicians, a lot of live shows in the store as well.
So it's also a fantastic way to sell your stuff too.
Of course,
yeah.
And marketing plays both for the brands and for the music. Not only for us, also for the brands to be involved, and sometimes also there's a long distance between a brand or an artist until the customer.
Yeah.
But we think anyway.
You close that gap, sort of.
Yeah, we close that gap, and everyone is together. I mean, the customer and the artist, they touch each other.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about today now. So you said most of your sales, they've always come from your online store, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but now you had a web shop back in 2002. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, 2002.
So how was that set up? What kind of platform were you using? And
At that time, we're using, because 2002 we started a record company, and our idea was to sell records all over the world.
Yeah.
So we needed a worldwide sale from day one. And we got some guys that started it out with open commerce, actually.
Okay.
So that's how it started. And they were coding and stuff like that. And
you had your own servers too, didn't you?
Yeah. We still have that. It's still working. We checked it yesterday. It's standing in an old room in a what's it called? In Mejeriet.
Okay. Oh, really?
Okay. Yeah. Locked in.
But you decided to change gears, switch your platform to something else. This year, in fact, right?
Yeah, we didn't decide it this year, but we started this year.
Okay, you started this year. Yeah. But now, so how did that transition go, and what was it like for you? I understand it was a fantastic experience.
Yeah, it was horrible.
Sarcasm.
It was really interesting in the beginning. We were very pep on doing this, and because our old platform was too old, we couldn't update it because we coded everything to pieces there.
Yeah.
And we started to see where we're going, and we got involved with JetShop, or actually another company that was bought by JetShop.
Okay.
So we said we're using that, and then we have a business community together that should work together.
Okay.
And it didn't work. The first 24 hours when we launched the new homepage, no sales at all. It was totally silent.
And why was that?
yeah, there was something, they made something wrong with, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they made wrong, but they said, oh, sorry, we forgot this. And because people couldn't buy stuff there, it was impossible.
So on day one, people they couldn't complete a purchase then?
No.
Okay.
But we got loads of phone calls and
okay, so how did you guys try to fix this? Did you call them or?
Yeah, of course, we called them, chased them, and then also we know that when you totally change the platform and everything, it's going to be complicated in the beginning. But it was total chaos on the backside, and we just tried to front everything. Okay, we figured it out, and yeah.
So how did you fix it in the end?
In the end, yeah, the easiest way, we don't pay anymore.
Okay, that works.
Yeah.
So how long did it take before it was finally fixed and up and running?
Finally fixed. The most urgent, the urgent stuff with money taking and that, it came like in 24 hours.
Okay.
But then it was up and down with some payments didn't work in certain countries and stuff like that. And 2 months, then it started to, then we couldn't get stuff online as well, because that was another problem and stuff. 2 months and actually 4 months until we made a kind of a solution together.
So if you could think back, how could they have sort of made your experience better? If you could look back, how could they have fixed the problem?
From day one, take it serious. I think the problem was that when they made a deal with us, we tried to explain for them what we needed. And it's easy to say, yeah, but we can do that, we can fix that, no problem.
Right.
But they didn't really have to check on it. So when all this problem came, there was no one that really, they were more like, yeah, we fixed that, but there was no one that could really touch it.
Okay.
So we had some of our guys were working 24 hours and telling them, this is the problem, and suddenly they have to take it seriously because we get a good technician guy on our side that could go in the system and say, you have to change this. And so we actually made a lot of work.
You mentioned that you were actually staying up to like 2 in the morning some nights with, on the phone.
From January until September, actually, my working hours was from 7 o'clock until 2, 3 o'clock in the night.
Those are wonderful working hours.
Horrible, especially when we got a huge family as well. So, yeah, it was a huge damage on the family. Not damage, but it was, the family was taking a lot.
But it's all fixed now, right? And everyone can go to Hepcat.se and shop now.
Yeah, mostly. We got some stuff they're going to figure out, but the most of the stuff is working now.
Excellent. Well, we're fascinated by your community. So thank you so much for coming and sitting down with us and telling us all how to build an excellent community. Yours is by far one of the best I've seen. So thank you so much, Robert.
Thanks.
Please give a round of applause.
Thanks.